Today I want to share something with you that happens to me all the time as an artist. And maybe it happens to you too. It's that strange, surprising moment when you look at your own painting and realize it doesn't feel like you anymore. A viewer left a comment on my last video that really struck me. Libby said, "You say so much about what I feel when I look at some of my old work. And it doesn't have to be that old. Sometimes paintings that were done a year ago, which I loved at the time, are just not me anymore." I read that and thought, yes, exactly. That's it. That's something I've experienced again and again. When I finished recording last week's video, I really liked where it landed. It wasn't quite finished, but it felt fresh, it felt alive, and I felt happy with it. But when I walked into my studio today and saw it with fresh eyes, it didn't feel like me anymore. It was me 5 days ago. And that's such a curious thing about art. A painting can feel true. Then days later, you look again and it doesn't quite fit. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It just isn't you in this moment. There's a quote by Alan Watts that really resonates with me. It goes, "You're under no obligation to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago." I love that because it applies to art, but it also applies to life. As artists, we evolve constantly, sometimes so quickly we don't even notice it happening. A color palette we adored last week suddenly feels off. A bold brush stroke that felt perfect yesterday might look too loud today. Or a painting we thought was finished months ago suddenly calls us back, asking to be transformed. And that's okay, more than okay. It's part of the creative process. Think about it. Every brush stroke is a reflection of you in that moment, your energy, your thoughts, your mood, even the music or silence in your studio that day. So it makes sense that a few days later, when you've shifted even slightly, the painting feels different. If you've ever felt like this, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave me a comment below and let me know. I've had paintings that I thought were complete. Then 6 months later, I've pulled them back onto the easel and worked into them again. And sometimes that new version was exactly what it needed to become. Other times, I've looked back and thought, you know what? That earlier version was more honest. But both were true to who I was in that moment. And that's the beauty of making art. We make the rules. If I want to completely change a painting, I can. If I want to leave it as is, I can. If I want to love it one day and feel uncertain about it the next, that's part of being human and being an artist. Because art isn't fixed, and neither are we. So to that viewer who said their old paintings no longer feel like them, I get it, 100%. That happens to me too, and maybe it happens to you watching this as well. And if it does, know this, it's not a flaw. It's not a mistake. It's simply proof that you are alive, evolving and growing. We are all works in progress, just like our paintings. And like Alan Watts said, You're under no obligation to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago. So if your art changes, let it. If you change, embrace it. After all, we make the rules. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It really helps others find it. And feel free to share it with a creative friend or someone who might need to hear this today. Thanks for watching.